About Donald Trump shutdowns, net approval rating, we're talking 20 days into it. In 2018/2019, Donald Trump's net approval rating was already falling. The shutdown was eating into his popular support. It was down 3 points already at this particular point and would fall considerably more. It was very much on the decline. You come over to this side of the screen, this shutdown hasn't eaten into Donald Trump's support at all. His net approval rating is actually up a point in terms of his popular support. So the bottom line is this. The first shutdown during Trump's first term, 2018-2019, was hurting Donald Trump. This one is not hurting him at all. There's no real reason Donald Trump might say, at least when it comes to popular support, I want to get out of this shutdown.
What about the question of blame?
Yeah, okay, what about the question of blame? Okay, you see here, you see Donald Trump's net approval rating was down 2018 to 2019. You talk about 2025 as net approval rating is up. It comes down to the blame game, a game I loved to play when I was younger. Blame Trump for the shutdown a great deal. In 2018/2019, 61%, more than 3 in 5 Americans blame Trump a great deal for that particular shutdown. You come over to this side of the screen, look at this. It's a different world. It's a different world. 48% of Americans blame Trump a great deal for this particular shutdown. So it's more than 3 in 5 back in 2018/2019. It's less than half, a drop of 13 points. Again, it's no real wonder that Donald Trump, at this point, looking at the shutdown, says, you know what, it's not actually harming me politically, in large part because he's getting less of the blame.
The Schumer shutdown continues, and it's not going the way the Democrats want. And you can tell because even now the mainstream media is starting to question the Democrats' motives. And that's exactly what we see today being discussed with Bernie Sanders appearing on CBS Mornings and a discussion with Jon Stewart where he starts to get some pushback. Before we get these clips, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Government shutdown, and both sides are dug in. Democrats are demanding action on health care before they vote to reopen the government. I want to get to the book, but first, on the shutdown, Senator Thune has said, Leader Thune over in the Senate has said the health care issues will come to a vote if Democrats reopen the government first. He can't guarantee the outcome, but you'll get the vote. Why isn't that no good?
Well, I'll tell you why it's no good. Right now, as I think everybody knows, our current health care system is broken. It's dysfunctional. We spend twice as much per person as the people of any other country, 85 million uninsured. We don't have enough doctors, nurses, dentists, et cetera. It's a broken system. What Trump did in his big, beautiful bill is to throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off the health care they currently have by massive cuts in Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. You know what studies show, guys? Let's talk about this. Studies show that when you throw 15 million low-income and working-class people off health care, 50,000 people a year will die unnecessarily. They don't have the money to go to a doctor. They have a chronic illness. They will die. And then on top of that, all over the country, in my state of Vermont, all over the country, people right now are receiving notices from their insurance companies. Their premiums are going to go up by 20%, by double.
So open the government and vote on it. Make the case.
Really? No. And let 50,000 people die if Trump vetoes the legislation, if the House doesn't deal with the legislation. You know what's going on right now in the House? The Speaker of the House, Mr. Johnson, has given his people a 5-week vacation. They're not even in Washington, D.C. Before I vote on a bill that will right now allow 50,000 people to die unnecessarily, I want it absolutely clear that that will not happen, period.
But meantime, you could have the president is saying that the shutdown's a chance for Republicans to cut programs left and right that they don't like, that you like. So how long are you willing to let this ride for losses?
Look, I cannot allow, in good conscience, 50,000 people a year to die unnecessarily, and in my state and all over this country. Healthcare premiums. You think you're paying enough out there right now? Look at doubling premiums for 20 million people, sometimes tripling, quadrupling.
So we have the simple question being asked, why not open the government and then have these discussions? And Bernie Sanders' response, well, we have to take government hostage so that we can negotiate, right? Because otherwise the Democrats have no power, okay? But notice the admission by Bernie Sanders, right? The healthcare system is broken. It's too expensive. Your premiums are going to skyrocket. Who broke the system? What is the current system? Oh, it's old. Obamacare that was passed along party lines to, of course, change the entire healthcare system. And everything we warned about is happening. It's too expensive. It doesn't have great coverage, right? It's almost like we could see the future of socialized medicine, right? But Bernie Sanders, he doesn't care. Do you know what's happening right now? People have been kicked off of healthcare rolls. They're losing money. Folks are going to die. The only people that were kicked off of healthcare rolls were illegal immigrants and those, of course, that were able-bodied and able to work and should be able to at least provide some of their own healthcare costs. All right. Those were the folks that were kicked off Bernie Sanders. But of course, he's going to make this false equivalency that Donald Trump is trying to kill people by denying them healthcare, when, as a matter of fact, our healthcare coverage sucks in this country because people just like him tried to take us towards a social system. And it's this exact same social system that actually increases costs for healthcare, as going to be pointed out here by Jon Stewart.
So my question is, will Democrats recognize the poison pill that they've often placed into well-intentioned policy?
Right.
And we've seen it in tuition, and we've seen it in pharmaceutical, and we've seen it in healthcare. This gets to the Democratic solutions have never been to directly provide. It's always been a subsidy
Absolutely
to a
right.
middleman. But what happens is when the government promises endless funds to insurance companies or private universities without any cost controls, and Trump seems to understand this, prices rise far beyond the rate of inflation.
What they end up doing is coming up with very complicated proposals. You make $48,964.
Yes!
You will get this thing. You make $1 more, you finish the blah, 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 blah. Look, we have got to make it simple. In the wealthiest country in the history of the world, should healthcare be a human right? Yes, it should be. You got to finally say to the oligarchs who have never, ever had it so good, they're making money hand over fist, all right? And you got to say to them, sorry, guys, $1 billion is enough. You ain't going to have 200 billion or 300 billion. Try to survive on $1 billion. You're going to start paying your fair share of taxes.
So Jon Stewart actually raises a very valid point. One, of course, that the conservatives have been making for a very long time. And that's a simple fact that the Democrats' only solution to problems is to throw money at it. Okay? But when you do that in terms of the government, what ends up happening when you have endless funds and subsidies with no caps whatsoever, simply given away to institutions and hospitals and insurance companies? What ends up happening? Oh, costs increase, because now all of a sudden, all of these places say, how much money is the government actually willing to give us? We're going to take every last penny. So rather than trying to cut costs and compete with each other, they're simply budgeting based on the most money they can get from the government. And then what does that do to average people who don't have government assistance? It raises up their costs as well, right? And that, of course, is the end result of all of the social programs. Now simply imagine the government covering everyone, everywhere, for everything. Can you see the costs and how they're going to skyrocket, right? And this, of course, is why all of these countries out there that supposedly have their socialized medicine have really long wait times, have really poor service, right? This is what happens. And the only reason they're even able to afford all that stuff is because the U.S. has been covering a lot of the costs of, say, their pharmaceuticals and medical equipment, etc., because we pay a heck of a lot more for it here, so the companies can subsidize spending over there. But of course, what is Bernie Sanders' answer to this question once again? It's to throw more money at it. We have to tax all of the oligarchs who've never had it so good. Maybe they should only have $1 billion instead of $200 billion. Okay? Well, Bernie Sanders, how about we start with you? Do you really need those 3 houses? Do you really need your multi-millions of dollars, right? You start first. You're preaching all this socialist garbage, so you go ahead and eat it. So as I mentioned, this was surprising to see a little bit of pushback finally on the socialist agenda of the left. And yes, how spending isn't the answer to everything. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.